Hello, beautiful internet people. This is Tony in the future. So, we recorded this episode on October 1st, and on October 2nd, as I was doing the editing for this episode, the RC has made an announcement where they are not banning the Secret Lair Walking Dead cards. So, in this episode, we call for the rules committee to ban these cards. Obviously, that didn't happen. And I just wanted to give the listeners the most updated information. Anyway, here's the rest of the episode. I hope you enjoy it. Hello, all you beautiful internet people. This is the Crafty Brews, a MTG discussion podcast, and this is a very special episode. I'm here with the Brew Crew.
Mark, aka the Reanimator.
It's your boy John, the Salt Collector.
And this is Tony, aka the patron saint of garbage Magic players, and your moderators for this edition of Bad Brews. Now, before we get into the topic at hand, I have two special shout outs that I want to just at the top shout out. Now, usually we do shout outs at the end of an episode, but these two shout outs are very special. Without them, current channel as it is known would not be possible. So, and also the topic at hand that we were talking about today is filled with passion and, dare I say, rage and lots of salt. And honestly, we don't need that negativity to come into these shout outs. So I would like to give a special thanks to Jess and Maggie B. Maggie designed the YouTube banner and Jess did the photoshopping for our mug icon. So the cast would just like to say thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you very much.
Now, with that being said, Bad Brews. We're not going to, because of the nature of this episode, we're not going to be doing any Babs today. That's too fun. That's too lighthearted when we're talking about this serious subject. And I just don't think it would lead to quality entertainment to have that hanging while we try to do Babs. So we're not going to be doing any Babs. Now, what is Bad Brews? Bad Brews is when something so egregious happens in the world of Magic that we have to do an emergency episode and comment on it. That's what this episode is about. Now, let's get into the topic at hand. So the recent news of those that are unaware is that on September 28th, Wizards of the Coast announced that they would be releasing a new Secret Lair drop. The Secret Lair Walking Dead. This would normally be met with excitement for those in the Magic community that like The Walking Dead, and for casual players, and depending on whatever theme that they normally would choose for this Secret Lair, fans of that theme. But here's the thing. With this cross promotion, the standard stuff that they would normally do, they threw that out the window. And instead of giving us cards that existed in the game but themed and styled in The Walking Dead, they are giving us mechanically unique cards that are legal in internal formats. Now, as you can see on the screen, what we know so far, there are 4 legendary creatures. They all do something unique that no other card in the game of Magic can do. Now, if you're thinking, oh, this can't possibly be can't be targeting a certain segment of the Magic community, think again. They specified Commander in this. In fact, in literally the next sentence in the article where they said that this was legal in eternal formats, they mentioned Commander. I'll have a link in the description. It states, and I quote, Commander players especially should look forward to bringing their favorite characters from The Walking Dead to life on the tabletop. Oh joy. Now again, specifically targeting a segment of your audience is a common practice in the business world. It makes good business sense to create products for certain people. So we're not knocking them for that. You want to make products that your fans will be excited about. However, the nature of these Secret Lair products is that they are limited by their very nature. They are offered once and then never again. When you are offering special versions of existing cards, no one has a problem. In fact, people laud you. The reprints and neat versions that you create, it's all part of this ecosystem that encourages creativity. In Magic, one of the coolest aspects of it is all the different kinds of art and self-expression that comes with it. Whether you're getting an altar, getting a special edition, promos, and the like, it's all part of the game. But this is different. This Secret Lair, they are no longer, in their own words, a small group of cards selected around a particular theme, gives them new art, and then wraps them together in a customized collectible box. By the way, you won't see that description of this product anymore. The reason being is they got rid of that page, but you can still see evidence of this original description of Secret Lairs, especially if you take a look at the professor's video on the subject. He has some screen grabs of the original description of Secret Lair drop at the 3-minute and 58-second mark. Mysteriously, a lot of things that have to do with promises that they've made in the past are now no longer on the internet. But I digress. This topic has gotten a lot of people angry, myself included. But let's take a small step back, and talk about Secret Lairs as a concept before we get into the specifics of this issue. Because I feel like, to be fair and to be balanced to Wizards of the Coast, talking about the original concept of Secret Lair and what it is and how we feel about it is a good jumping off point to discussing why this, and in my opinion at least, is so wrong and so egregious. And then after we give our opinions on that, we'll then give our more opinions on how we think Wizards should move forward and how the community should move forward, and different ways of handling this situation or fixing the situation or shoulder shrug this situation.
Right.
John, Mark, what do you guys think of Secret Lairs up until this point? Mark, the floor is yours.
Well, up until now, I mean, I think Secret Lairs have been, in my opinion, okay. I haven't really had an issue with them. It's been always a cool little product to push out, and I like the fact that they, will have some new art for the cards. I like the fact that we're getting just cool, new versions of, some of the older classic cards that we all love to play with, especially, for Commander players who are always looking for that newer kind of thing, like the newer art, or maybe the art for the original card they have is not exactly their favorite, and all of a sudden they see the Secret Lair and they go, oh my god, I love the art for that card, it's really cool. I can finally get this card in my Commander deck replaced, or something like that, that they like the card, they just don't care for the art. Because, let's be honest, I mean, we all play this game for the fun of playing the game, but, just like, for me, example, I actually very invested in the art. I'm a big fan of the Magic card, always have been. So I always like to make sure that I get, like, my decks are filled with my favorite actual art of the cards that are available. Sometimes, there's been a few cards in the Magic history that they haven't really reprinted really many of them, or almost at all, that are in my Commander decks that just just don't have any alternate art, so that's sometimes I'm stuck with them. I wouldn't necessarily say I hate the art with them. It's just sometimes it's just not my favorite or wouldn't be my style, but it is how it is. But I mean, and there's been some of the layer art that I really like. There's some that I'm just like, you know what? No, the original is just way better. Prime example for me would be the more recent layer that had the Eternal Witness in it. Was not really too crazy about the art on that one because again, I can't move past the OG art for Eternal Witness that was in Fifth Dawn. That was done by Therese Nielsen. Unfortunately, it's there's a little bit of a part of me that kind of has to have a hard time liking the art for that card though, because of the fact that Therese Nielsen has kind of come under some pretty bad light recently, and also been kind of it is no longer associated with Wizards anymore because of some certain more recent events that I'm not going to get into. I'm sure everybody out there probably knows what I'm talking about.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, we will definitely have to have a discussion about artists and their art in the future.
I agree with that. Yeah, we'll definitely have to have an episode where we talk about some of the artists who have kind of like no longer affiliated with the art anymore because of certain things that obviously we don't want in the community. But there's just
yeah, it sucks when talented people are kind of shitty people.
it really is. It really is. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is that the layer cards I think are actually really cool. I mean, I've had no problem with them up until now. And some of the, like I said before, some of the art I've actually really dug. And some of the art had been like, no, I prefer the originals, and you know, and so on and so forth. So it's definitely a cool thing that they've offered. Myself, I've purchased just one of the layer ones, and it was the one that actually had the Eternal Witness one in it. But I didn't really get it. I didn't really get it for the Eternal Witness one. Actually, it was for some of the other cards that were actually in that one. I was actually really a big fan of. So I just off the top of my head, I can't think of what the other ones that were in it though, because I don't have it in front of me. But you know, I just remember getting it because I did like it. And plus, I mean, the Eternal Witness one, I did get it for trade though. I had a buddy of mine who really wanted it, so I traded to him, got some good value off it. So can't be too complaining about it. But yeah, so that's pretty much about how I feel about them. I think they're have been a good thing so far. They haven't really rubbed me the wrong way in any way or shape or form yet.
Okay, John, what is your opinion? What's your take?
So my feeling towards Secret Lairs is, I find it very fun. They had fun with it. Come on, they did a whole Yargle edition.
Oh yeah, Yargle.
Come on. So there's a lot of fun art. So I would say the more art, the merrier. In my opinion, I love how, some of the very cool concepts and very dorky ones as well to give options for, blinging out decks. Mark is a big fan of that, and myself. But, it's just, I've always enjoyed and anticipated, these new, when someone would talk about, oh, there's a new Secret Lair and it's this theme, and to see the art and, and just embrace it. But in general, I would say I'm a huge fan of the concept, and I appreciate the concept, for what it is. But that's how I feel about the Secret Lair.
Okay, so here's my opinion on Secret Lairs. In general, I like Secret Lairs. I've thought that sometimes they're a little bit pricier than I would have liked them to be. Like they don't need to charge as much as they have for some of the Secret Lairs. But the concept of special art of certain cards, I think, is great for collectors. It increases supply, and though that might not have a huge impact on prices on the secondary market, they do have an effect. So overall, more cards usually equals lower prices. They aren't necessary to play in any format, and honestly, as somebody who's studied business, it's a good business decision. It's a good business strategy. So I can't fault them for any of those reasons. On the basic Secret Lairs that they have made up until this point. The only downside that I see to how they were doing Secret Lairs before this point was that it kind of cut out the local game store, which I'm not a huge fan of. But at the same time, nothing is stopping a game store from purchasing Secret Lairs and then offering it. But so my feelings are a little mixed when it comes to local game stores, when it comes to Secret Lairs. But overall, I would say that it's been good. It's been good. Now, have I bought any Secret Lairs? Dear listeners, I am broke AF right now. This is not a point in my life where I can afford to buy Secret Lairs. But here's the beautiful thing. I'm not required. I don't need to buy Secret Lairs to play this game. And that's why I think that up until this point, it's been, rather benign. It was just another revenue source and another way for new art to get into the game that otherwise might not have gotten into the game. And it's not the standard. It is not like any of the funky Secret Lair art. That wasn't the standard art. That was the alternate art. And if you saw that across the table, you knew that that slime that looks like Adventure Time art, that's a special thing. But if you go and look in the binder boxes, you'll see the regular scavenging ooze rather than the Adventure Time looking one. And the one that's in the binder box, the regular scavenging ooze, that is magic scavenging ooze, and the other one is a special alternate thing. Now, with that being said, let's get on to why this Secret Lair is a problem. So Mark, as the person who's been playing this game for the longest, you've lived through the Nathal. How do you pronounce that? The Nathal. Nalathan Dragon? Yeah, the Nalathan Dragon and the original Mana Crypt book printing incidents. You lived through that.
It's the Nalathni dragon.
Nalathni Dragon. Thank you for correcting me. But you lived through those. You were playing Magic during those times, and that's the closest apt comparison that I can think of what's going on with the Secret Lair to what's happened in the past. So with that context of Nalathian Dragon and the original Mana Crypt printing that was only available in a book, how did the community respond then? How did you feel then? And did Wizards do anything to address those problems that people had?
Yeah, it's wow. those will bring back some memories right now. I'll tell you that. When those things came out, along with the there's also a couple other cards. There's the Arena card, the Arena Land.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And a little more recently, this one kind of came out, but it still was available in a book. I want to say this came out close to 2010. Again, I can be wrong with the listeners. I know that it was around 10 or 11 years ago. The Jace Beleren one that came in a book as well, which is a very pricey card because of the fact that it only came in a book. Even despite the fact that normal Jace Bellerens are probably around like a $6 or $7 card. This particular one goes over about a couple $100 if I'm not mistaken, because of the rarity of it. But anyway, yeah. Going back to what you're saying, it was a different time back. I mean, we're talking now. For those of you guys who don't know when these kind of cards came out, this is like circa 1995, 96, when I think the Crypt came out.
And 94 for the Dragon, right?
94 for the Dragon. Yeah, it was like 94, 95, I think, for the Dragon. But it was around that same era. But yeah, let's all go back. I mean, this is 25 years ago or so. Now, for some of these people who might not be listening, some people might be, well, I was only just born 25 years ago, or maybe even younger. It's
yeah.
back then, man, this is internet was very, very new still. I mean, this is my opinion is the more what's the word I'm looking for here? Like the more early existence of Magic when we when we got our net decking from Inquest magazine and Scry magazine.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, this is before that. I mean, even though there was internet available at this time, this is the the before internet was like a little more advanced as it is now. I mean, I don't think Magic there was literally Magic deck lists online until probably I want to say probably the late '90s or so. I mean, before they started popping on there. So everything that you found out about Magic was through these magazines and all that kind of stuff. So when it came to these things being in books, that was more of something that you would hear through your local card shop if they were selling the books, or if you were happen to go to a bookstore and you saw them there, or if you happen to get one of the Scry magazines. They talked about it, and I know they would advertise them, but the word of mouth on these cards wasn't very big. I mean, in fact I didn't actually even know about a couple of these cards, like especially the Mana Crypt. I remember the first time I ever heard about the Mana Crypt card was probably about a good 4 months after the book was released. That just tells you how much information all of us had back then. I mean, it was literally just one of those things that you had to just like find out yourself by a friend of yours knowing about it, or maybe your card, like I said, if your card shop was lucky enough to sell the books. I know that the card shop that I went to, they did not carry the books as far as I remember. So at least I didn't see them. I don't know about any of the other card shops in town, but they maybe one of them might have had them, but I just didn't go to them very often enough. I kind of had my one card shop in town I used to go to. So yeah, I mean, and I remember seeing it. I just remember just being, like, especially. I mean, the dragon was cool and all. Don't get me wrong. When I saw that thing, but the Mana Crypt, I remember just thinking to myself, a 0 drop for 2 colors mana. I'm like, this is like better than Soul Ring, you know. I mean, now the downside effect is you can take 3 damage a turn. I know everybody goes, well, there's that side effect, but a lot of a big popular thing back when I played was artifacts were a really big thing. Now I know nowadays, I think artifacts are not as popular as they used to be, but back when the game first came out, artifacts were like some of the biggest things. Artifacts were considered the best cards in the game, actually. So, I mean, I remember I had an artifact deck back when I was younger. I mean, I used to play 4 copies of Soul Ring, mana vaults and stuff like that, and I just pump out these huge creatures for almost in no time, and yeah, it's so when the Mana Crypt came out, I remember a buddy of mine had gotten the book that it came in, and he just like showed me. He goes, "Look at this, man!" And I was like, "What is that?" And he goes, "Hey, you gotta buy this book right here." So I remember he went down to the local bookstore. He showed it to me. I actually got one, but like a lot of other people, the value of that card wasn't very bright or very big back then.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish I could have like a Scry magazine in front of me, honestly, right now, so I could look at what the price of that card was back in the mid to late '90s. But I don't recall it being very much, nowhere near what it's worth now, obviously. But Commander is a huge reason why Mana Crypt is such a valuable card.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Mana Crypt, if Commander did not exist, Mana Crypt would be absolutely worthless, almost, in my opinion. It's not playing anything else, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
so it is what it is. And the reason why the original Mana Crypt is worth so much too is because of the scarcity of it. I mean, they were only given to you in these little books. It's not like they were in a bunch of packs.
Yeah.
And I just don't remember it being that big of an issue.
All right, cool. By the way, for you listeners, I'm going to have a link in the description where Mark Rosewater himself did an article about 20 times that Magic was going to die. That's literally the name of the article. And it mentions the Nalnathi dragon. And in that article, it said that a lot of people wrote letters and were very, very upset about the dragon not being available. So I'll leave a link in the description. So since Mark got to answer that question, John, let me give you the first crack at this one. So Mark Rosewater announced that Wizard would no longer do unique buy a box promos because it upset the fans. Do you think that that is very similar to what's going on with Secret Lair? And also, by the way, listeners, there is a screen grab in the professor's video, him making of making that announcement or answering a question on why there wasn't a unique mechanical buy a box promo. That answer has, in my research, been taken off the internet, so you can't find it, but you can go to the professor's video and see that that was a question that Mark Rosewater answered. Anyway, so yes, John.
So my opinion about this is that this only scratches the surface of the Secret Lair conundrum what we are in. Yes, the buy box promo, it is, and I'll just name one. What I can really think of is the Nexus of Fate. It's 5 colorless, 2 blue. It's an instant, and it's from Core Set 19. Take an extra turn after this one. If Nexus of Fate would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Nexus of Fate and shuffle it.
Yeah, very powerful card.
Very powerful. Take extra turn spell. Buy box promo, and I'm pretty sure this was the last one. So this is the one what is in question. My feelings on it is that it only really scratches the surface because at least with the buy box promo, you're buying a box. So it's just not sending $50 for 5 cards, you know? You get a crack packs, you get more chances to pull stuff what you want or trade fodder or, you know, whatever the case may be. So
I didn't even think about that as a perspective. When you were getting a buy box promo, you were at least getting other cards, but besides it.
yeah, the price point is more expensive because you have to buy a box, of course, you know, with a promo. But at the very least, you're cracking packs. You can do draft. You can, you know, you can have fun with the packs what you get. But Secret Lair, you're just, you know, take my money for X amount of cards, and that's it. So that's how I feel that it only really scratches the surface on the severity between the two. Yes, they're very similar, but with the Secret Lair, it's a cash grab, and it's just they pointed out it is for Commander players by saying no, it's not, but they still are. So read between the lines. This is legendary creatures. What can be your commander? Just targeting this group with a very well-known series. You know, I'm not the biggest Walking Dead fan, but there's a lot of potential buyers to buy to the product for them to make the money, which is a good business, you know, aspect. But for it to be legal in eternal formats is pure, you know, excuse my language, but bullshit. The
No,
fact that
I
you
feel
know,
you.
I'm trying to keep it PG-13 in here. You know, I can say a lot of other words. Mark can attest, my brother can attest. You know, we all can say a lot more things, but you know, for the sake of the conversation, it's bull crap. You know, it really messed with my head when I actually was listening to the video what Mitch from the command quarters was doing, and that's how, you know, I totally agree on his notes of they should be banned, and it's not right. This is not how to go about business, and us as a Magic community and investors in the game what we love, that we should take a stand and, you know, and actually consider just banning it outright. Look, they did it for that companion dude, I forgot his name, Lutri the otter, and and I firmly stand on that. You know, honestly, for one in particular, Glenn, the voice of Calm, which he's one colorless, white and blue. He has Skulk, which is a throwback mechanic. And Skulk, it reads, this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And then his abilities, whenever Glenn deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to his power. And he's a 1/3. And when I read that card, I was like, I've been looking for an Azorius commander what's not too controlly. And, I wish I can stand behind the product and go get this and play Glenn. But it goes against my morals because I really do stand on the fact that this is not right what they're doing, and I'm not a huge fan. And for right now, I'm gonna hold my emotions back for further questions.
Oh, no. I mean, we specifically have a time and a place, and trust me, I got words. I got words, and I'm gonna keep them clean, but I don't want to. Now, Mark, with Mark Rosewater basically giving the reason that there are no more unique buy a box promo cards. Do you think, same question to John, do you think that they're the same thing and that if you're not going to do one thing, you shouldn't do the other thing? What's your perspective before I give you mine?
The thing is the whole vibe. I mean, the promos like the one John was saying, the Nexus of Fate. I kind of like what John was saying was really true. I could basically a lot of what he was saying was probably some of the points I was actually gonna probably try to make too. But the way they're doing everything now with these and I remember when Nexus of Fate first came out. I remember thinking to myself, cards pretty cool, but what are they doing with this whole the promo here? It's creating this. Okay, so to get this card, I have to buy the box, or I guess get one off someone else if someone has one, or buy it from the card shop, and not just pull out a pack or something like that. So it's just I was never really a big fan of that whole thing.
Yeah, didn't they get like super expensive? Like really?
Oh yeah,
really?
they did. Right away. I can't remember exactly how much the Nexus of Fate. I mean, because I know more recently, because of the bannings, it has dropped in value a little bit, but I can't remember exactly how much it was going for. I want to say it was upwards of like, I think $50 or so, or in that realm. I want to say within the first month of it being out or something like that. But yeah, it's just it was. I wasn't like I said, I wasn't really much of a fan of it either because of that factor that saying, hey guys, if you buy a box, buy our product, you can get this really cool card instead of just being able to just buy packs and just get one like that way, like a normal person. So in that aspect, yeah, I really wasn't really that much of a fan of it. And I don't know. I think with Rosewater saying they're not going to do that anymore, okay, that's probably the right decision, honestly.
Oh, by the way, just looked it up. At its most expensive, it was $45.
Okay,
and,
so yeah.
Yeah, and its current price is at $21.
And that's pretty good even for a card that's banned all those formats. I mean, obviously it's a very strong commander card. And that's probably the reason why it's holding around $20.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with Mark and his points, but another point I want to bring up, products like that really drive a wedge between the more casual players or budget friendly players versus to the collectors and the unlimited budget. Yeah. The unlimited budget and and buyouts are real on cards. And not saying this card was bought out, but it did hit a $45 mark, and that's pretty pricey, and for it to be a limited edition product, the promo for buying a box, it's just not good for business because it makes the community, it rubs a certain demographic of the community a wrong way, in a sense. It could be indirectly or directly, but it's still just not a good look. I'm not a personal big fan of discrepancy between, what your budget is and what your budget is not. I'm glad they made a decision to kind of do that. But then these Secret Lairs popped up, which is not cool, Wizards. It's really not cool to try and put a wedge. I know it's a business and there's a lot of business marketing with the Secret Lair, like my brother touched on earlier about product of the Secret Lair, but this is overstepping boundaries and just not the right thing.
All right, cool. So I'm going to give you guys my opinion on two things. Then I want to hear your guys' opinion, and then I think we can brainstorm on what Wizards should do. So here's my opinion. The fact that a product that is similar to what the Secret Lairs is, the Bioprox unique, mechanically unique cards, and they got so much backlash for that they decided not to do it. And then for them to go around and create an entire bundle of several cards, which if they haven't appeared on screen will definitely appear on screen now, that are basically doing the exact same thing, is just like, what are you thinking? People were upset before about one card every set coming out. Honestly, is probably going to have a much wider distribution than these are going to be. I mean, you're releasing these Secret Lairs during a freaking pandemic when money is tight. So you think there's going to be enough supply for people? I mean, honestly, if the community wasn't so pissed off right now, pardon my language, but if it wasn't and money wasn't so tight, people would probably be buying way more than they probably should. But now we can't, even because most people are struggling right now. So the supply is going to be restricted even further. These cards, they not only do they rub me the wrong way, but they upset me on a fundamental core, because there are things that they could do to not be so predatory, to not be so scummy, to not be so cash grabby. They could have made them silver border. They could have. You know what would have been really cool? This idea just popped into my head. Here you go. What you could have done is you could have released these cards and do exactly what the Godzilla alternates were. But instead of being, released at the same time, you'd be like, these are special versions of these cards that we're going to release in the future, in the next set. In fact, look out, it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna be able to get these cards. No, that's not what they did. That would have been a real great hype machine, because you'd be like, wow, we're going to a place where, cards like this exist, and this is like a little preview of the next set. Wouldn't that have been cool? Wouldn't that have been great? But no. But instead of that, they're like, oh, we could possibly, reprint these cards as magic versions in the future. Like, seriously, in fact, I have Mark Rosewater's. Sorry, I really hate the fact that we keep dogpiling on Mark Rosewater and his words, because honestly, I think he's a cool dude. He does a lot of good for the community. Just want to preface that. But the fact that Mark Rosewater has, why don't these cards use Godzilla alternate skin technology? That meant we wanted them to maximize their appeal as a box set. Oh, you wanted them to be pretty. You know what? You know what? I would rather have a regular ass magic card than these things. Okay? That you are covering your butt. That is what you are doing with this statement. By the way, a link to Blogatog, some answers in the description, so you can read it for yourself, because I read what he wrote and it rings so hollow to me. It reads like something that Mark Rosewater had a gun pointed at his head would write, rather than something that is honest and true. It does not read true. It does not read as honest. But yeah, it could have been silverboard. It could have used the Godzilla thing. Could have been used as a hype for a future set with the Godzilla technology. But instead, they made mechanically unique cards that will not be available. Who knows? Many people have pointed out that these cards, there's a good chance that they could never be reprinted again because the name of these cards are linked to other properties. And do you think that Wizards of the Coast is going to be writing out a check every time they want to reprint Negan? I don't think so. That doesn't make good business sense at all. If we're looking at this as a pure business sense, it makes no sense that they would ever reprint these ever again. It just doesn't make business sense because if you have to use another company's IP, then you have to write that check every single time that you want to reprint it. So that's why this reads very hollow. It reads very untrue. And also the hypocrisy with the buy a box promo, with the Nathian dragon. It is time and time again showing that Wizard had learned a lesson, and they said that they wouldn't do the thing, and now they're doing the thing. They're doing the thing, and that is why I am upset. What's to stop them from in the future doing more stuff like this, where they have a really cool, I don't know, that Avatar: The Last Airbender, magic card. They have Toph, the Great Landslide. I don't know, whatever. This really cool, mechanically cool card that people are going to want to play and build decks around. But they're in these limited things, and then suddenly Magic is no longer Magic. It's something else. I don't mind crossover tie-ins when it's Magic first and the crossovers are special by themselves thing. But when you do it like this, basically what you're saying is Negan is in Magic the Gathering because it just says Negan. It just says Negan. It doesn't say, underneath Negan's name, vicious, what is it called? Uthron, the vicious warlord, or whatever, which is the real Magic card. And then it's this cool. No, it says Negan. And now Negan is a part of Magic. And I think that's bullshit. That is bull crap. Anyway. I just want to say I love this game. I love this game, and I think it's the greatest game on Earth, and I want to continue to support Wizards of the Coast. I want to continue to support the Magic community because I think it's the best community. But this stuff right here is beyond the pale. This is the type of stuff here we do not need. And see, what's so crazy is I could see a world where we're not making this podcast and telling Wizards that they're doing such a bad job because they're like I said, they could have done the Godzilla thing. They could have made it silver border. They could have done so many other things that they chose not to do. Instead, they chose to do it in the worst way possible. They chose that. And what's to stop them from doing it again? The only thing that's going to stop them from doing it again is if no one buys them, no one plays with them. That's the only way. That's the only way that I see. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me look at my notes. Sorry, that was just emotion right there. That was emotion sprinkled with facts, but mostly emotion there. So any more thoughts on why this is bad?
I mean, I think you echoed it pretty well there. I mean, it's pretty much just the fact that you're they're creating a product that is going to be very limited and um,
it's these are game pieces. This isn't like
exactly, yeah.
These are game pieces, and you want to play the game, and you can't play this game without buying them. And if they're limited pieces, you can't do that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. And that's what it is. And it's just when you have the limited number of cards, and I think that's the reason why I didn't see much of the backlash for the old book promo cards, because I guess in the area where I was at, there wasn't a big deal, but apparently there was a big deal across them getting a bunch of letters about it. I guess there were certain areas that may have been really affected by it. Maybe there were certain areas that maybe just didn't have maybe enough access to, like, say, like either bookstores, or maybe the bookstore that maybe had them, they ran out of them right away or something. Who knows? But
Mark, you just made me have a brain blast right here, right now.
Okay.
Secret Lairs isn't available everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's also another good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not available in other parts of the world. So say you're a Magic player in New Zealand and they don't, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm just using it as an example, listeners. But if you're in New Zealand, you love collecting Magic cards, how are you supposed to get it if they don't deliver it to your country?
Exactly. And because of the fact that these cards will be limited in their production and people are going to want to get their hands on them, obviously, it's going to make, I mean, I'll be kind of intrigued to see what some of the prices are going to be on some of these cards, and what they're going to be going for, because it's because limited product availability. And then plus the factor that you throw in with a very popular American culture thing, which is Walking Dead is a very, very popular thing. And I know there's a lot of Magic people who love Walking Dead. I mean, I happen to be one of them. I'm a big Walking Dead fan, and I'm not gonna lie, the Negan card is kind of screaming at me because I love Negan so much. I like the colors Mardu, but it's just like, why couldn't they done something with, like, take an existing card already and then just like add the Negan thing onto it, and like come up with like a name for it or something like the Godzilla cards did. They could do something like that, but it's like, now I'm gonna sit here and probably go on eBay, if I can't get one of these layer things myself, and I'll be sitting there going like, well, look, hey, there's Negan. He's only like $150 because of how rare he is. It's like, really? I'm not saying he's going to become that much money, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? And the thing is, like, it would have been really cool if the whatever I said for the example name Warlord was a real Magic card that was coming out in the future. That then you could have had a Negan deck, the alternate art, and then people would have been hyped about what the Magic version looks like, and all of that. That could have been really cool, but no, they didn't do that. And it's infuriating, because it's basically Wizards telling the Magic community, especially Commander players, we only see you as this cash cow and we're going to milk you dry. That's the message that they are clearly sending to us. And you know what? I think we need to send a message clearly back to them that while we love this game, you will not disrespect us like this. You will not take advantage of us like this. And during a pandemic, when things are super tight, like again, if it was Silverboard, if it uses the Godzilla technology, if it had been reskins of older cards, fine. Spend your money however you want. They're cool. It doesn't hurt the game of Magic, but I think that this right here, this hurts the game of Magic. This puts a wedge in the player base, like my brother said, between the haves and the haves not. And it also makes it more likely that they will continue to try and milk the Commander community of everything. And I just feel like I can't trust Wizards of the Coast anymore. I just feel like I can't trust them anymore, which I think is very sad. All right, I have one more question to ask the Brew Crew, and that's how do you think Magic, specifically Wizards of the Coast and the community, what is the path forward? What do you think, Mark? What is the path forward?
Well, I kind of think a little bit is just that we need to kind of a little bit what you guys were kind of talking about too. I think I can't remember which one of you guys said like I think it might have been you, Tony, who said like we need to like let Wizards know they shouldn't be doing something like this by just like obviously just not buying the product, and
I'm not
trying
buying
to get
it.
some kind of trying to get some kind of message that they should be doing this. I mean,
Jonathan, any ideas on Magic going forward, on how to fix things?
Like I stated earlier, and I stand by it. I wish I had a mallet or something, but give it the hammer.
Yeah, no, I
Because
agree.
it's just not the fact of, you know, fool me once way back in the day, with Mark's era of the Mana Crypt and all this other, didn't learn from that. Fool me twice with this buy a box promo stuff. You're not going to fool me the third time. I'm sorry. I do not support this product, even though there are some pretty cool cards. I will not, I'm not downplaying the cards itself. It's just the way they went about it is not cool. Give it the hammer.
Yeah.
Hammer time.
Yeah, no, like the rules committee, I definitely agree with you. The rules committee should ban these cards, and I honestly think that we need a boycott. We just need to not buy the product. Do not buy the product. If you hear about this product, if you're a Walking Dead fan, I'm sorry, but we all have to collectively not buy this product. In fact, I want their numbers to be so low, to be so bad that they re-release this product after they made the concessions. Like next year they're like, okay, we know that the first time we printed these like special cards, you were very pissed off, and now we put them into regular sets. Can we please now give you the secret layers? Then we'll be like, yes, Wizards, now you can give us the secret layers with the Negans and the Glenn and all of that, because this is exploitative, it's greedy, and it's terrible. Do not buy these products. Ban these cards. It's very clear the right side of this issue and what should be done. I think it's very clear.
Yep.
So in summary, dear listeners, do not buy this product. Rules committee, ban these cards. Wizards, you done messed up. Stop it. Don't do this. You still have time. If you wanted to, you haven't printed these cards, make them silver border. Or better yet, make a commitment to do the Godzilla thing. Just put some nonsense words underneath the Negan to something warlord. Udolph, the warlord of whatever, and make a commitment to print those cards in a standard legal set. Do that, do any of those three things, and all will be forgiven. But until then, do not buy, ban these cards. Man, it's kind of a downer of an episode, guys.
That happens.
So anything, any parting words from you guys before we do our ceremonial shout outs?
Yeah, I think my opinion, you got everything pretty much covered, but I mean, I don't know, John.
No, I expressed myself.
All right. As customary, I shall give up my shout outs first. I would like to first and foremost, shout out my little dog Ginger. Love you. Love you. And I would also like to shout out Maggie, Jess. Thank you so much for all of your help. And I'd also like to shout out these two beautiful people that I get to talk to all the time about magic. You're great.
Yeah, definitely echo those sentiments, especially the people that are helping us. Definitely big shout out to them. And shout out to John and Tony, of course, the two gentlemen who I had the pleasure to talk about Commander with, or just Magic in general as well. It's always a pleasure. And just all you out there as well, the listeners and family, friends, everybody out there who enjoys this great game that we play. And even though this is an episode that was a little bit kind of a downer, still gotta give my daily shout out to the great Sheldon Menery, the basically the godfather of Commander. Hopefully one of these days we might be able to get him to listen to one of these. That'd be great.
That would be.
It's the reason why we're all here is because of him, and we all enjoy this great game of Commander. And I know we talk about regular Magic stuff too. So I mean, I know he wasn't responsible for just the game of Magic, but the game of Commander is definitely a big part of me. So I definitely applaud him and I love to give him shout outs because of the way him bringing it to us. That's just how I feel. So yeah, big shout out to Sheldon Menery, the Godfather.
All right, I'd like to shout out the two beautiful souls that help us bring this YouTube podcast channel to you with all the artwork and all the delicate work and time and effort. And I'd like to give a shout out to these two beautiful souls in the room. It's always been a pleasure, always will be. And I just need everyone to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit that bell.
There's a lot more content in storage. So yeah, always hit that bell. And
in fact, the next episode has already been recorded. This is an anomaly because the previous episode, the one that we recorded earlier, is going to be coming after this one. So there's already something down the pipeline for you guys. Anyway, I think that is a wrap. Peace.
Peace out.